Welcome everyone back to another video. Yes, I am doing these videos very sporadically at the moment. It has been a long while since I did my other video where I was talking about getting back into this content and talking a little bit about self-esteem and what I've been working on and whatnot. And I just thought today, on my way back from work, would be a good time to just do another one. I do want more structure to the channel and what I'm doing with it, the type of content that I'm uploading. At the moment it's just getting back into the swing of things and kind of just filling you guys in, a little bit about, things that have been going on in my life to what's, stopped me being as consistent with this. And a lot of it, to be honest with you guys, has been me just being too self-conscious, really. And I do enjoy content creation. I enjoy, making videos, and I've got a art background, so I do enjoy doing this, and I do want to do it more. And I do think it's also important to be able to speak about topics that maybe some of you will be able to relate to, so yeah, it's important that I do carry on with it. But at the moment, the biggest thing that, like I mentioned, that kind of makes it harder is me just being really self-conscious. And that's one thing that I'm working on, is not being as self-conscious, not being as self-deprecating with my own self, and just being, you know what I mean. One thing that I've done a lot of my life, or most of my life shall I say, is really caring what other people think. And not in the sense of, obviously you do need to be, it's not about being an arsehole and not caring what anyone thinks in that sense. I do feel like it's important to have empathy as a person, to care somewhat how you treat people, but to constantly be thinking, what do people think about me, going outside. And like one example I will use is, I never really used to have my hair down. I've got dreadlocks, and I never used to have them down because I felt really self-conscious about it. I felt, people staring at me. People have got their own perceptions about my dreadlocks. I've got their own perceptions. I've not got my my little selfie stick to record this right now. Like I say, it was just a little off the bat video that I thought I would do right now. So I'm just holding the phone like this. But yeah, what I was saying is, yeah, that type of caring what people think has really hindered what I do in life. You know what I mean? Obviously the hair examples are a small example, but the one of the things that have really stopped me from just having that momentum I need in life, and to not overly think. I've always been, shall I say, over-analysing situations, people, you know what I mean, what I'm wearing, you know what I mean, how does it look, what I'm doing, how does it look, you know what I mean. I've never been able to just be without it being like some deep thought process in my head of what some random person might think. And even if it's people that I know, you know what I mean, it shouldn't really matter. But it's been a big hindrance in my life, so it's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it. Is I know a lot of people that, not including just myself, a lot of other people feel that same way, and I just don't want to live like that anymore, really. This makes it really hard to progress with anything when you're constantly thinking what people think. You know what I mean? And that's not to say, like I say, to reiterate, to not have empathy, because that's also important. But, you know, just being who you are, being comfortable in your own skin, you know, that should be something that, you know, everyone born into this planet, they should be comfortable with being who they are, you know what I mean? Obviously, as long as you're not doing any horrible stuff, but you got to be comfortable in your own skin, you know what I mean? And I never really been that way, so yeah. Self-esteem is very important, and I feel like it's one thing that, you know, we're all going through this human experience, you know. And I said this something similar in the first video that I posted in a while, a few weeks ago now. But yeah, we're all on this human experience, and whether you're a man or a woman, you know what I mean, we've all felt self-conscious, you know what I mean, we've all had some level of self-esteem issue, you know what I mean, whether all of us talk about it or not. And I feel like for men especially, it's not really touched on as much, you know what I mean, men's mental health, men's self-image and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that it's never touched on, but I feel like not enough. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm a man. I've never really had the language or the tools, you know what I mean, or the people around me to deal with some of the mental stuff that I've had to go through, you know what I mean. And it's like, I feel like as a guy, it's just like you got to just toughen up and get on with it in some cases. Like I say, there are a lot of support groups out there for men now, but I still think it's important that, you know, men's mental health is important, you know what I mean. And I also think it's one of the reasons why there's so much, and it doesn't excuse it, but one of the reasons why there's so much fucked up shit in the world, and why a lot of that statistically is from men, is because men's mental health and how our brains have been kind of wired is just, you know what I mean, it needs attention, it needs healing, you know what I mean. I feel like there's so much of us that are dealing with stuff that we don't even know about, because we don't know how to, we don't have language for it, we don't know how to express it, we hold it in, you know what I mean. And emotions is something that we all feel, you know what I mean, but the more you repress an emotion, the more, when you actually let out that emotion, it explodes. And it's not just, you know, it explodes, you know. And I just feel like that's been such a thing for me anyway, where I've held so much in, and then when it's been finally time to let anything out because I've been holding too much in, it's just like it all explodes, you know what I mean. And that energy is not directed into anything constructive because it's been held in for too long. And it's not about never being sad or never being angry or never being whatever emotion that you're feeling. It's just about knowing how to, you know, how to let the energy flow, you know what I mean. It's about, you know what I mean, emotions are energy at the end of the day. And I feel like I've had so much uptight energy, I've had so much constrained energy within my life where it's not helped me as an individual. But yeah, I'm just ranting at the moment. But like I say, this channel will have some form to it with what we're doing. You know, one part of it is, I will say mental health in general, because like I say, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking to can be applied to whether you're a man or a woman, but I'm just talking about it from the perspective of a man. And you know, I know that a lot of men are not really, you know, heard or understood with the topics that I'm touching on. So yeah, we're talking about mental health, but you know, it is directed as well to men, you know what I mean? It's something that I never thought I would do. I never thought I would be opening up on YouTube about certain things without going too deep, but you know, I think it's important. You know, I think it's important for people to see that. Yeah, I just think it's important. But yeah, it's really hot today as well, really hot. And if you are anywhere hot, or just anywhere in general, but especially places that are super hot, stay hydrated, because this heat is sweltering hot. Sweltering hot. Yeah, it's a nice walk back from work. But yeah guys, I'm gonna leave it there for now, for the time being. I might do some more content today, but like I said, I'm planning what I'm doing. So yeah, but if you do like the content, then yeah, stay tuned, subscribe, leave a comment, you know what I mean, interact with what I am building here, what we're building here, because it is a community, and I don't want I want people to be able to express, you know what I mean, I've been here or whatever. You don't need to express as much as you want to, but yeah, if you do like the content, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And much love guys, stay safe out there, enjoy life, because